You're deep. The Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. Check, we Ric Flairing on them niggas. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Ric Flairing, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops and find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kid stealing, wheeling dealing, limo jet flying. We Ric Flairing on them niggas. We Ric Flairing on them niggas.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase, yeah, Moseby St, yeah, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing on them, Ric Flairing, son up, baby.
Yo, DJ!
Are you done mixing yet?
You're deep.
EQ, little old school, little Sam. Chick. Look. Black Sun. Too easy. Gotta keep it pimpin'. Look. Chick. Drop a deuce in my armor palmer. Now I'm moving slow like your mama's mama. Vega full of that marijuana. I'm in full effect, it's no cause for drama. Presidential, my weed, man. You think my kush man was Barack Obama. Swing around, niggas flag me down. I need a couple grands when they see my Honda. Been there and then done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown Royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Disapprove of my tennis shoes. Now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Want them J's, I'ma go online. I don't wait in line, I ain't the type of dude. Dressed fresh like Steve Harvey, rolling Bob Marley, watching Family Feud. Reading a book on Marcus Garvey, might tell you something that you never knew. Fuck the judge in McLennan County, 31 weeks I had the county blues. Shout out to my Uncle Bubba, had the box Caprice and it was candy blue. The other week I saw a blue Ferrari, was a white boy, he drove right by me. Told myself when my album drop, I swear the whole world gon' know about me. 25 from the east side and got my mindset on the red Audi. Dropping paper like Waco trips, where my Waco niggas gon' read about it. Been there and then done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Oh yeah. Disapprove of my pimpin' moves, now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Bad bitch, she on me. Fucked up and I'm on it. Say I been there, I done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Oh yeah. Disapprove of my pimpin' moves, now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Bad bitch, she on me. Fucked up and I'm on it. I done been there and I done this. I done been there and I done this. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this. On 35 and this 420, fresh out of jail, about to roll a L. First blunt of the fucking day and it's 10 o'clock and I'm mad as hell. Got work at midnight, so I ignite and I take sail. Can't survive off what I scribe in my government job, it pays well. On the highway in an old mood, jamming old school. I'm just an old dude in a young body. Finna knock down this little young hottie, cooking soul food. I'm so smooth. Silk drawers couldn't fuck with me. She blowing my pop, but I'm sucker free. You paying for the drop, but I fuck for free. Lucky me. Been there and then done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Oh yeah. Disapprove of my pimpin' moves, now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Bad bitch, she on me. Fucked up and I'm on it. Say I been there and then done that. Kick a flow, you can't run back. Crown royal, my cognac. Fucked up and I'm on it. Oh yeah. Disapprove of my pimpin' moves, now I pick and choose like it's win or lose. Bad bitch, she on me. Fucked up and I'm on it. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this shit. I done been there and I done this shit.
You're gonna dig this.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's Backpack Capital One. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeant is with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets. Pulls right out. I swear, like, sometimes I wish I could rap. Like, I would just really jump on that beat, but I can't do it. Hey, appreciate you for tuning in. It's your boy, Scotty. You know what you watch. You watch it OFFScript Live. Now, today I got a special guest in the building. Listen, you know, he's from New York, so you know you got to drop some bombs. You know, if you come from New York, it's just part of the culture. You just got to drop DJ Clue bombs, Funk Master Flex bombs, whatever you want to call them. We dropping bombs. Now, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Listen, I want to make this platform. You know, I cover HBCU football. I cover a lot of sports. You know, I'm a sports fanatic.
But also, I do this and I get guests like this because I want you to understand you can stay close. You can stay close to the culture without playing a sport. So you don't have to be, LeBron. You don't have to be Michael Vick. You can stay close to the culture, either being a scout, fashion designer, lawyer, all type of stuff. Your dreams don't have to stop if you don't make it to the NFL, NBA. That's all I'm saying. So just think bigger. All right. You can still be big, but just think bigger. All right. So simple as this. Now, listen, today's special guest is a third generation entrepreneur. Like, listen to what I just said, right? Most people say, yo, I'm like the third year graduate of Texas A&M. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. My dad's a lawyer. I've been a lawyer, and my mama's mom is a lawyer. Like, that's like third generation entrepreneur. That's making moves. Listen, I mean, you see them everywhere. You see his clothes on Chris Paul. You see them on Nick Cannon. You see his clothes everywhere. They are literally taking over the game. Please give it up for my special guest today, Tahir Murray from LHP. What's good?
Hey man, this past year I've done several interviews, but this intro is really like that. What's up, bro?
Hey, I'm good. Hold on, we gotta keep it going. Got the brand up here real quick. Got to do it something like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh man,
listen, we try to do a little something on the channel, a little something. But what's good with you? How's your week been? How was your weekend?
Everything's smooth. I don't even. What's today? Oh, today's Monday, man.
Hey,
all my days like just every day is like that. But everything's straight, man. I just moved down here to Atlanta, actually. Been down here for the last like 2-3 weeks, so just trying to get settled, trying to get my dip my feet in the city, dip my toe in the city a little bit, network and meet different people, but just continue to grind at LHP. So we out here.
Man, listen, you in the right city to do so. You are in the right. That is like the black network mecca of everything.
Everything.
Like the Black Hollywood. I call it the Black Hollywood. Now, listen, I usually start my show with a little start bench cut because most people who come on here are athletes. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know what you played, but that's not your brand. So we're going to do a little different. I got a who am I, right? That's how we doing it. Howard edition. All right, so that's how we doing it. So I'm gonna give you some clues. All right, and you gotta guess, and the audience can guess as well who I am talking about. So let me get this set up real quick. All right, first one up. Who am I? I was the mom in the new Karate Kid. You know it's hard out here for a pimp still, and this cookie is not to play with. Who am I?
Taraji, come on now.
My God, let's get it. Taraji. Okay. All right. Next one up. Who am I? Was Keith's best friend and two can play that game. I'm the blackish dad on the block. And me and my mom love our T-Mobile commercials. Who am I?
Big dog, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, come on. We 2 for 2.
Come on, man. The Bison family. Come on now. No, I really can't get one wrong now.
All right, last one. We coming down to the last one. Who am I? I played a superhero, but I was not a fan. I jack, I rob, I sin. I was a marshal, but not the police. Who am I?
R.I.P. Chadwick, man.
Oh, man. He is 3 for 3 out here. I knew I should have made him a little harder. A little rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. That's what's up. Okay, so he knows his alumni. Just a
little bit.
Let's get into these questions, all right? What is the last movie or show you've watched?
Ooh, what was the last movie I just watched? I forgot the name of it. It was with like Leonardo DiCaprio. Some like, was it the Departed? I think. Yeah, it was The Departed.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that was the last one I seen. Long film, but that good, different. Good. Yeah.
Good one, classic. Your favorite song and artist right now. They don't have to be the same. But just, what song you like to listen to? Who's your favorite artist right now?
I've been big on West Side Gun lately. Big steps in the industry. Song. Benjamin Burning. That's Future. That's on the
Okay.
mixtape. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You gonna fit in right in Atlanta. You gonna fit right in. Anything Future, you gonna fit right in. All right, favorite spot in DC. It don't have to be food. It could be anywhere. Like when you go back to DC, you're like, man, I gotta go here.
Oof. Heat the Spot, a little Ethiopian cafe.
Okay. Shout out to them.
Go to, yeah.
Shout out to them. Your favorite holiday?
Christmas time.
Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. Now, are you a giver or you a receiver? Like you like I'm handing out the love or I need all the love.
Now I'm big on just being with the family, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I went to boarding school and stuff, so like, you know, I only saw my family on holidays. So whenever we got together, there's always something special. So
okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Now, if money was not an option, what would you buy?
My mama house.
Okay, you don't go with
that was always the dream as a kid. I was like, I gotta buy my mama house. That was just like, you know, something you always talk about.
Hey, that's the classics right there. You know what I'm saying? First one up. All right, now, what is one thing about you someone would never guess?
I was big musician growing up. Piano was like my thing. Like
you was like John Lennon, like ordinary people.
Playing a little bit of everything. I couldn't really sing. My mom thought I could sing. I couldn't really sing, but
and that's all that matters. As long as mama care, like his mama think you can sing, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I was on the keys heavy though growing up.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. You still play? You still dabble?
I still got a little bit, lost a little bit of it, but you know.
All right, let's get into these questions. Now, you kind of went into one of my questions already. I said I read that you attended an all boys boarding school. How was that experience? Because a lot of kids don't, go off and go to school. So how was that?
Yeah. So leading up to that, I was originally going to go to like private school in Atlanta, Woodward Academy, most likely. I just love Woodward. Wanted to be in that area. My sister met a lady, whose son went to boarding school, who went to the Macaulay school, the school I went to. And she was just like, I know your brother's looking to go to private school for high school, but like check out the boarding school. Like you could stay the night there and go get interviews, all that. So I went over there in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and did a tour of the campus, and I just fell in love with it. And growing up, my parents I always did different like camps and stuff. So they used to take me to like UNC basketball camp, stay away camp. So I was like kind of like used to being on my own in the summertime. So I was like, man, maybe I could do this like during the school year too. So when I went to go stay the night at Macaulay, I just loved it. Just all dudes my age. Like these are all boys, so just big into sports and just just kicking it, whatever. The camaraderie, the brotherhood was always there. So but yeah, to answer your question, I loved it when I was there for sure. Learned a lot about myself. Got some really, really cool friendships out of it, a lot of dope experiences. So yeah, I would never give up those 4 years ever. Like it was amazing. Yeah.
That's what's up. We're here with C.E.O. Tahir Murray. All right, now listen. Let me break it down. A normal day for Tahir Murray, CEO of Legacy History Pride. Like break that down.
My days are never normal, man. It's always something. It's always something. Trying to get into more of a routine. But being the CEO of the business and working with like just a small knit group, I kind of wear a lot of hats. So certain days I gotta design, some days I gotta work on the marketing. I also do the photography for the brand. So it's a little bit of everything. It's kind of like whatever I just really want to put my energy into for the day. It's like that's what I'm doing. Of course, whatever has to get done, it'll get done. And then from there, it's just like wherever my creativity goes, it's just like, the world is my oyster, really. So
now, do you feel pressure as such a young CEO? Because most people your age are maybe being a supervisor, maybe like in a entry-level management position. You are the CEO of a business, you know what I'm saying? A profitable, big name business. So is there a pressure that you feel?
I think I put more pressure on myself than anything. It's not really external pressure to my parents have always told me, whatever you want to do, just go do it. Like they never put pressure on me to do anything or be anybody. They was always like, be yourself and do it to the fullest degree. So I've kind of like, that's how it's always been. Like just growing up, I've always kind of put pressure on myself and I've always been hard on myself. So like in a sense, like that's the pressure that I feel nowadays. But that's just because my vision for this brand and where it can go and what it could do for the culture is just so big. So like the fact that I'm not there yet is just like I gotta keep working, but still reminding myself that I am young. Like I'm only 22. The brand is barely 2 years old, touching 2 years this summer, really. So yeah. So it's like a little bit of pressure, but it is what it is.
Hey, listen, pressure bust pipe. It's either pressure bust pipe or make diamonds. It's either one or the other. That's
diamonds, man. Diamonds.
All right, now, how difficult was the initial journey to begin LHP?
I wouldn't even say it was like difficult. I think like I'm still in the, growing a business and the first part of the business is going to be difficult. You got to organize everything. You got to have a plan, a brand guide, brand identity. You're trying to like build all these things and bring these ideas and dreams into fruition. I wouldn't say it's difficult, but it's just like, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it basically.
Facts.
But it's something that's a part of who I am and my DNA so much where it's just like, it's something I naturally just fell in love with, especially growing up, like my family, like you said before, I'm a third generation entrepreneur. So this is already in my DNA. It's in my roots. So I wouldn't even say it's difficult because I've just seen the hurdles and the loops that my family has had to go through. My grandfather had to go through even just get into this country, Well, I didn't see it, but I've always heard these stories about it. Just being an immigrant from Trinidad and Tobago and just saying like, yeah, I'm me and my family, we're moving to New York. Didn't know anybody in the States. Just got up. I had this farm in Trinidad and was like, we out. So seeing stuff like that and hearing stuff like that from people with my same last name, my blood, my people, it's just like anything is possible, honestly. So
man, listen. If you could go from a farm to New York and just start your own, man, listen. If that's not motivation, I don't know what is. For real. Like, no, it's not a bad day. Like, you can't have a bad day if you leave in your all. People don't want to move from one side of the country to the next, let alone, go from a different country to a whole nother. That's crazy. That's
especially in the 60s. Like, you got to think about it. Like doing this because he came here in 1966. So
different time too.
Yeah.
Now. I know that you are really big into family, but outside of your family, what were some of your biggest influences growing up?
Definitely had a lot to do with music. I wanted to be like a rapper, like when I was in elementary school and stuff. But when we moved to Atlanta or when we moved to Georgia, we lived in Fayetteville.
Okay.
I always say Atlanta, but we really live in Fayetteville, and that's just like suburbs south of Atlanta. So I was like elementary school, I'm listening to, my dad's big on Jay-Z, really big on, Tribe Called Quest. All these guys that he was listening to is people that he grew up with. So they're talking about the streets of New York. So hearing them rap about certain things, I was like, damn, I ain't got nothing to rap about in the suburbs of Fayetteville. But a lot of my influences, though, did come from hip hop. And like at a young age, I kind of like learned how hip hop kind of intertwined with so many different industries. And then that's when I grew a love for like fashion and marketing subliminally though. Like I didn't know what all these things were at the time, but it was just there in my face. So different artists, hip hop for sure. Nike, because my grandfather had the first, my grandfather and my dad had the first black owned Nike account. So when they had the store in New York, I was just growing up in that atmosphere and I couldn't really be in the storefront. I had to be in the back on Saturdays because of Jordan releases, and there was too many people in the store. And I was like so little at the time, but I could see on the little security cameras just the rush of people coming in, just getting shoes on Saturdays or Fridays and Saturdays, and it was just like, dang, like seeing people's love for a brand like Nike, and seeing that branding at a young age was something that like it stuck with me. Again, I was like so young, so I wasn't really like internalizing it the way that I can now, but just to be exposed to that environment at that age was just like, dang, this is the coolest thing ever.
It's funny. Like my uncle started a little car washing business in Savannah, Georgia, but it's nothing like sitting in your own family stuff and be like, my family owns it. Like I never experienced that, but it's just there's a pride factor. And it's just my uncle, so it's not like I'm like that, but it's just to be able to walk around, move how you want to in it, because you're like, yo, we own this. Like, this is ours. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's so crazy. Like, I didn't get to appreciate it until my grandfather retired and then sold the building. So it's just like, and didn't have the Nike account anymore. Because when they had the store, that's when I was like in elementary school, I started skateboarding for real. And I got heavy into like wearing SBs before they were like $300, how they are now. Back when they were like $80 on Nike's website, I was wearing a lot of SBs and Vans. And my dad, like, he sold all his Jordans that he was gonna give to me one day, but he was like, you were so deep in the skateboard, and I think you was gonna be wearing these 4s and these Jordan 11s on a skateboard. So, but like what you said, it is beautiful to like just to see that family business and entrepreneurial mindset, especially as a youngin, you know.
Yeah. Now, if you were not the CEO of LHP, what would you be doing?
What would I be doing? Oh man, that's a really good question. I'd probably be like taking. I don't even know, man. I don't even know that.
I can't even lie to you.
I can't even lie to you. I don't even know. I love DJing. That's one thing that I got big into at Howard. DJing and MCing, throwing parties with my friends, like just throwing different events. But I've always had an interest in marketing and fashion in some degree. And even before LHP, I was interning. I had an internship at J. Crew in New York, and fell in love with that crazy. And just being in that scene in the city was so dope for that summer. So I'd probably be like working somewhere marketing or merchandising for somebody.
Okay.
I think I'd still be in like, the fashion industry just because that's something I just grew up on. But if that didn't work out, most likely just like taking DJing or music something seriously. But that's just like what I love to do on the side as a hobby.
That's what's up. Now, who or what inspires your designs when it comes to the brand?
Oh man, that's a really good question. It comes from anything, anywhere. Like a lot of things that we see nowadays are replicated from what goes on in our culture, influenced by Black culture. So Black people, in a sense, inspire me. My culture inspires me with the designs and the creativity and the things I want to produce. But I've always been big. I'm a huge fan of GQ. Like I'm still a subscriber and get the physical magazines sent in the mail. I've always looked up to like Pharrell and like what he's done in both like music and fashion. It's not even like just it's like certain time periods that I just like really enjoy learning about. And even like with polo and learning about the polo history, but in a New York street sense, and like the Low Life crew and how they were just like made polo like just big, like they just made it fashionable. They made it like streetwear in a sense, but they were still themselves, and like seeing that community. So I take pockets of like little different things that I kind of like really grew up on and just followed as a kid. And that's what kind of inspires like some of the designs that you see today. But all of the designs though are tailored to like match the uniqueness that's synonymous to HBCU culture. So we know how we are on college campuses and how HBCU pride is. People are bold. People are, the swagger's on 10 every day is a fashion statement.
It's a fashion show every
day. Yeah. I know kids that like probably like didn't go to class sometimes because they didn't have a fit for the day, but that was real because every day on the yard, every day, popping out. Every day was a pop out, basically. People would not go to the cast certain days because they was looking bummy or whatever.
Facts.
So everything that we design is like we want people to be proud of what they're wearing and make sure that it is fashionable pieces and pieces that really embody who we are as a culture. So
that's what's up. Now,
this
is probably one question I got in all my DMs, right? Getting licensed with schools, was it difficult, and what does that process look like? Like, I don't know if you breaking any laws by talking about it. So, if you can't, I get it. But everybody, when they heard you was coming on, they was like, ask them about licensing. So how is that process and what does that look like?
Yeah, well, so we're a fully licensed vendor through all the schools, and it's a whole application process that we have to go through. So we have to get approved by the company that handles the licensing for the schools. And then we have to go ahead and get schools approvals for each individual item that we want to design and develop. So that's a whole, like, it could be anywhere between like a few weeks process or a few months or even like a year, depending on the schools, in terms of like getting an application in and it getting approved by the company and also the schools itself. So it's a whole process, but we make sure we do our due diligence and making sure that we have fully licensed apparel. And through our licensing agreements, a portion of the proceeds go back to all the colleges that we have agreements with. And on top of that, we're doing other work to give back to HBCUs and different scholarships and different opportunities for kids who are currently at HBCUs or, you know, interested in going. But it is it could be difficult at times, you know, working with other people on getting the approvals and stuff made. But, you know, with anything comes a process.
Now, kind of side, I want to keep caveat on this. So let me get this straight. So if you come up with a design, you guys like the design, you do all this, and you send it, and they say no go, you start over from scratch, pretty much. Wow.
Like that. Yeah. The schools want to make sure that, you know, it's important that we keep up with the integrity of the schools and how they want their marks represented. So totally understand it. Like, it's, you know, if somebody want to do a collaboration with LHP, we have to make sure that they're using our marks and using our brand and our name to the highest degree and the standard of excellence as we see fit. So that's similar to like what these schools do. But it's like that at every college campus. And whenever you know, do business with them or making merch for them. So it's a very similar process that all like companies have to do in order to make licensed apparel. So.
Okay. See, now people, if y'all out there listening, see, it ain't as easy as you think. Right? Not saying don't do it, but get your game up. All right. Now, what's the best part of your job and what's the worst part of your job?
Best part is just being CEO. Like, it's such a great feeling to just have the freedom to think and do however I feel. And just working with a phenomenal team that just understands the vision of where this could go. It's like the sky is the limit. And then that's like the beauty of the job, that we could do whatever we want with it, whenever we like, however we want to do it. So that's like my favorite part about being CEO, just being in control of it and being in control of the vision, being 100% Black owned. And those different things are like things that I take pride in. And I'm carrying my family's legacy in the apparel industry. So all of these things just remind me to like keep going. And that's why, like, I don't see anything as like a challenge or difficult, because it's like, that's what I was saying before. Like, it's just like, just get it done.
Yeah.
So worst part, I wouldn't even want to say like there's a worst part. Like, I don't know. I lose sleep at night. Like I live, like I eat, breathe, sleep, like this brand and everything I do. I'm not saying that's like the worst part of it, but there is a lot of work that goes into LHP and what we do for the schools. And there's a lot on the back end that people don't know. So how I can communicate with people, I guess, who just don't understand it, it could be difficult at times, but that just comes with, like, you know, developing a brand like this that's marketing such a new idea, I guess, or that people aren't familiar with or anything like that. So not to say it's the worst, but it is difficult, you know, in that realm. Yeah.
Now, how instrumental was Howard to the development of you as a person? You know, you being at the HBCU.
Howard definitely helped me just spread my wings. Growing up, like my parents and my family molded me into everything that I am now. But then I went to boarding school, so I was kind of like, of course they were a phone call away, but there was a lot of things I had to figure out as a young man, on how to do and how to move and how to think and how to be, and how to figure that out on my own. Because especially at this boarding school, like, I was one of the very few like Black kids at the school, predominantly white school. So I was facing certain things that was just like, I don't know how to handle it on my own. But going to Howard made me appreciate, like, it was like that welcome home moment almost, like just going to campus and really being loved by my peers and sharing certain experiences with people who look like me, think like me, but also differently in the same aspect, because things aren't very surface level. And just being back to just being with like, it just felt like family. So you learn a lot about yourself and who you are and where you want to go when you're around your family. That's what like Howard felt like for me. So how I was like 4 years ago when I, first got to Howard is, I wouldn't say totally different, but it helped me just be more mature and more confident with who I am and everything that I want to do. And just really taught me to like believe in myself. Not to be like too cliche, but like that's what you learn at a HBCU is like nothing is stopping you besides yourself.
You kind of
yeah.
You kind of go into my second question. I didn't want to. I wanted to kind of ask it, and then you can kind of flow with it. But
For sure.
What would you say to a young Black kid that does not see the value of an HBCU?
I was like, don't underestimate it. Like, really don't go to an HBCU and do a tour. Like, don't go to a HBCU and do a tour and just look at the buildings and look at, what the classroom might look like versus some other like PWI. I remember doing a bunch of college tours, and there's a big difference between what Duke and UNC's campus look like compared to Howard's campus. But what you pay for at Howard, like you pay for the experience. You pay for that experience outside the classroom and being just in that environment. And that's what's really going to mold you into, a stronger young Black man or woman, honestly. So it's like, those experiences at a HBCU, I really don't think can be replicated anywhere else. And there's no place like it. And that's why the people of this culture are just so prideful and really, just really passionate about where they come from and who their school are and who they want to who they represent. You don't see that type of school pride at many other schools unless it's like, in athletic programs and stuff like that. But people just, go crazy and go all out for the HBCUs because of just it's in the brand name. There's so much legacy, history, pride within our institutions that just set us apart. So, yeah, that's a little bit of my advice on like seeing the value of HBCUs.
No, that's a bar. That's a bar straight up. Now, this next section is called Who is LHP Edition. Now, I texted you earlier to ask you how big your team is. So this is going to, it could be you or it could be people on your team. All right. So let's get into it. Who is the first one in the office?
I'm not gonna lie, the office don't close at LHP. The office is not closed. I'll get texts at 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, going over stuff. But yeah, it's probably not me though. It's just an all-day thing. I don't know. I don't see the office closing at all.
All right. Who never brings their lunch? Like, who's always eating out?
Who's always eating out? Probably me, man. Probably me.
All right.
Probably me.
Who would be late to their funeral?
Who would be late to their funeral?
Yeah. Because, people say, like, you're so late, you'll be late to your own funeral. Like, that's somebody who's just religiously late.
I'm not even going to out them. I'm not even going to do them like that. Everybody's on time. Everybody be ready.
That's what's up. That's how you do it. Let's go. Team morale, baby. Get this team morale up. All right. Who's the funniest?
My pops, easily.
All right. Who has the craziest ideas?
Me, for sure.
All right. And last one is kind of personal to you. What is going on with the Howard football team? Like, what are we doing? What is we doing? You rocking bike together?
We grinding like any other team out there in the heat. Come on now.
Oh, man. All right. Let's get back to these questions. All right. Now, what was your initial reaction when you saw Chris Paul rocking your gear?
It was just like, those moments are so weird for me because it's just like, wow, like he really has the merch on, and it was for the playoffs the first time that he wore it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like a wow moment because there are people who reach out, get buy product and stuff like that, and you never know if and when they're gonna wear it. So when he was like walking to the tunnel with it, it was just like, dang, it's crazy.
Now, did you get did you see, like, were you watching the game? Did somebody send you a Instagram, Twitter? Like, you got messages? Like, how was it?
The first fit he wore, I believe, was I think it was the Howard jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like tagged me on Twitter and was like, I think it was like, hey, LHP or something like that. And I was like, I just saw it and it was a picture of Chris Paul while just walking through. And then I think the NBA, it was either NBA or like the Phoenix Suns had posted it, like a clip of him walking through. And then from there, it was just like everybody was reposting it and tagging their brand and stuff like that. Oh, so I was just like, damn, it's crazy. Yeah.
I know that was crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I read this in your bio and I did not know this. You guys started School of Hard Knocks. It was such a classic brand. Like, I love that brand when I was growing up. Is there a resurgence in the near future of that coming back, and how is that going to work?
Yeah, so we just celebrated the 25th anniversary last year. So we brought back some items. It was it started off as the Queen 7 shirts. And those shirts later transitioned to my dad just really building the brand School of Hard Knocks. And he just went crazy with that. So but to answer your question, yeah, we got School of Hard Knocks items on the site now. And it was so crazy. I was in the middle of like nowhere driving from DC to back to Atlanta from when I graduated Howard. And I was in the middle of nowhere, stopped at a gas station, used the bathroom, and I saw this like big white dude, country dude, and I thought he was country dude, and he had this like he looked at me, he looked at my shirt, and I had a Queen 7 shirt on. And he was just like, wow, it's crazy to see that shirt around these parks. And I looked at him, I was just like so caught off guard. But this same guy, he grew up in Jamaica, Queens, and he just was familiar with the Queen 7 shirt. He was like, I got a Queen shirt back at the crib now, like old and dusty, but I still got it on me. So, you know, running into people like that is like so dope. Just like seeing how big of a reach that my pops had through the Queen 7 shirts and the School of Hard Knocks movement. But yeah, so I had to let them know that we are back. So everybody looking for School of Hard Knocks gear and Queen 7 gear is on the site.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I used to rock that stuff so hard. Now, what growth have you seen in yourself while you've been the CEO of LHP?
I believe I just had to mature like very, very quickly. And before LHP, I was working with my dad. He also had a collegiate lifestyle brand. So I like when I first learned about, you know, just the collegiate arena and collegiate apparel, it was kind of like just shadowing him and just sitting in the back seat and just really like learning everything about the business. So starting from there, it was just a very humbling experience. I just learned to sometimes you got to be quiet and just really just listen and just be a student. And that's something my dad has always taught me. He's always got to be a student of the game. And as far as growth within myself, that taught me a lot about just being humble and being patient. And like I said before, continuing to learn and educate myself on it. I learn something new every single day with this business, whether it's about HBCUs or fashion or merchandising, whatever it is, or running a business, whatever it is, I learn something new every day. So the more that you learn, the more you realize you don't really know much at all. So, you know, for me, that was just like, just always taught me to just like stay down, like just keep grinding and keep doing your thing. So that would be one of the biggest things for me is in that growth is just being patient and having faith.
Okay, now what sets LHP apart from other brands, in your opinion?
Something that we pride ourselves on is our quality. You go to the bookstore, not to throw shade, but it's hard to find high quality products that truly embody who we are as a culture. And we offer a very diverse array of products that people have never seen before in this market, with the designs that we have on our crew necks to our varsity jackets. We have sweaters on the way, polos on the way. We're trying to just really create timeless pieces that people will have in their closets forever, stuff that their kids are going to want to wear when they go off to college and go off to their respective HBCUs. So the quality in our products and just our story, we have such a unique story. Like, again, 3rd generation entrepreneur in the family, like not even just to be like cocky and boastful about it, but that's something that I'm so prideful of, because you don't really see that. It's hard to find that in the Black community. At least I can't name any other fashion brands that are third generation entrepreneur, Black owned. So I think that's very unique about us. And yeah, like I think all of that just like sets us apart from what other brands are doing. And our give back is a totally different thing that we didn't really like get in a lot to yet in this interview, but we're truly invested in our culture and like what we're doing. Like we're gonna lift as we climb. So it's apparel for us, by the culture. So
man, listen, once I saw this, I was like, oh, this is fine, man. I saw this FAMU. I was like, oh my God, that thing is so clean right there. That thing right in your bison, in the classic, the crew neck bison too. Shh. Listen, I'm like, man, make me want to go to Howard. I'm like, yo, let me get one of those. Listen, and them shorts, I'm telling y'all need to shop at LHP.com, baby. All right, now, where do you want to see LHP in the future?
I've always pictured that this brand could be the face of the face and leader of HBCU lifestyle and culture. We always are going to pride ourselves on the quality of our products and the fact that we're doing it for the HBCUs. That will always be our primary focus. But lately, we've opened the door for collaborations with different companies and different athletes, different celebrities on celebrating different stories of legacies, basically, that aren't talked about enough in media and on the news. So, for example, we just got done with a collaboration with the LA Sparks.
Ooh.
And before then, like just thinking about it, you don't really find too much like WNBA merch. You can go to a store and you can get, people walk around with jerseys of MLB teams and basketball jerseys, football jerseys, whatever, Yankee hats, got it on now. But you don't see a lot of that for like women's sports teams. And women's sports teams, like, especially in the WNBA, have the dopest logos, the dopest colorways. And I'm like, just like how people made, all these different sports teams hot through fashion, it's like we can do that keep that same energy with WNBA teams. So when they approached us with the opportunity to collaborate, and I was just like, wow, like this is gonna be something. So hopefully gonna get a few other WNBA teams underneath our belt and continue to make that noise on the off the court items for them. So yeah, so basically, like, I see this brand just like really, really taking off with HBCU merch and continue to offer product that just people have never seen out there before.
That's what's up. I got one. Somebody said, I think Chad Ochocinco. They said that I think Chad Ochocinco rocked the FAMU jank on. Yeah.
Shout out Channing Crowder too, because he his wife graduated from Howard and he had a Howard crew neck on in one of their podcasts too. So that was definitely dope. Shout out to them.
That's what's up. What's up.
Yeah.
Now, this is actually an off question, but with the NIL deals and name, image, likeness with college players, are you guys looking to find brand ambassadors at certain schools, or are you guys just strictly licensing in schools?
Yeah, we're open for it.
Okay,
we're all for it, and we want to be sure that we could find creative ways to work with different athletes and support these athletes. I think it's been about time for them to be credited for, their likeness and what they do for, college campuses and what they do for college athletic programs. So definitely open for it. Working on some things right now with some few people. So we're going to see where it goes. But I'm excited for it, though. I'm excited for these athletes.
I bet they're excited to talk to you. I know for sure. Now I read and stated that you said you wanted to open an LHP bookstore. Why a bookstore?
Not necessarily like a bookstore, but I definitely want to open up a storefront though.
Okay.
I do want to open up an LHP store one day. Right now we do strictly like direct to customer and just the e-commerce business, but I would just love to have a storefront one day. Yeah.
Oh man, I have a good question from a viewer. He said, would you let athletes have their own signature line within your brand?
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with all different types of collaborations like that. So I think stuff like that is cool. So
yeah, that's a dope question. Appreciate you, Blue Bloods, for that one. Now, how did you choose your core team to bring your vision to life? And also, after you chose your core team, can you help entrepreneurs out there to tell you like, hey, this is what you should be looking for when you're trying to put a team together to build something?
it's got to be authentic, and it's got to be with people who just want to work. People. So I have my core team, and then there's a lot of other people outside of that who, like, I would just say like freelance, and they offer their talents and their abilities, and if they want to collaborate with the brand with their creativity, I'm all for it. For anybody out there listening that wants to work in any capacity, whether it's models, photographers, whatever. But when it goes to choosing your core team, it's just like people that you can count on, people who just understand the vision and the mindset that you have as well. And it's just kind of like just good energy, just good vibes with the people that you're working with. So those have always been like key things for me. And when it comes to like working and collaborating with people, like I've never been super focused on, what is your skill set and like on what level are you doing it on and how many followers do you have? I just want to work with people who just want to work and are willing to learn. Because I was that same kid who was interested in collegiate fashion, and I told my dad, I was like, look, I'm like I really want to be a part of the family business. Like I really want to like get my hands dirty now. Yeah. So he was like, all right, bet, we're gonna see what you want to do with it. And now I'm able to run my own company and still, use him as guidance and as a mentor and guidance in this industry. So yeah, just people who want to work and who are passionate about it. That's all you really need to build a core team. Trust.
Listen, I'm telling you, man, listen, he dropping gems out here. Better get your game up. Shoot, better get a notebook and pen and pad. All right. Now, what did the experience with the Nike teach you? Your grandfather having that deal and that licensing deal, being the first black man to have a licensing deal with Nike like that. You know what I'm saying?
First black on Nike account.
Yeah. So how did that trickle down? What were things that he taught you in dealing with higher corporate, a $1 billion brand business? Like, what were some of the things that you learned from those experiences?
I mean, are you talking reference to like the Nike campaign that I did last year? So like that, it was just like, you just got to know your worth. And that's one of the biggest things I took out of it. I was like, I speak so highly of what we're doing here at LHP, and my vision is so big. So like once you get invited to that big room, like be present in the room, be true to who you are, and like don't doubt yourself, like be confident. So when I went to New York and did the whole shoot with them for the day, it was just like I didn't really like feel nervous or anything, or feel like, oh, this is Nike. Like, of course, it's a blessing to be there because it's Nike, one of the biggest brands in the world. But it's just like I like, not to sound like I deserved it, but it's just like I felt like I'm in this space. So I'm like, I got invited to be here, so I was here for a reason. So that experience itself just gave me a lot of confidence. And shout out Nike, they did a phenomenal job at covering my family story and like my vision of what I wanted to do with the brand and stuff like that. So and they were able to share that on their platforms, their Instagram, their app, and it was really cool. Like, woke up one morning and I was on the front cover of Nike page. Ooh. And I didn't even know that was gonna happen. Like, one of my friends hit me, was like, "What you doing on the cover?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he sent me the link straight to the Nike site, and I was like, "Wow!" I was right there on it. But all of that was like I manifested that too. Like, I always spoke about like working with Nike one day, and it was like a full circle moment. You know, it was really a full circle moment for me and for my family. So
that's it. I bet there has to be a like I can only imagine if I was your grandfather, be like, man, like I started it. I look at my grandson, now he with it. Like, it's there. I bet there's a immense pride with that just comes with that. And I'm so happy for you.
It's special. It's special. Yeah. It's probably like everything just happened well like everything was timed perfectly.
Yeah.
So definitely a blessing for sure.
Now, in your opinion, what can HBCU schools do to build more exposure? You've been the one. You know, because okay, I'll give you an example, right? So growing up in Maryland, a DMV, shout out. So all I knew was Howard, Morgan, and Morehouse. I mean Spelman. I'm sorry. Yeah, Morgan, Spelman, and Morehouse, because just regionally, and then you got Morehouse and Spelman. They're just academically there. What about those SWAC schools? What about those Claflins, the Clark Atlantas? Like, how can they build their brands to be as big or on somewhat of a level to where you're like, you know what? I've heard about Clark Atlanta. Oh, I've heard about Grambling. I've heard about Southern, without it being regional based.
That's a great question, because I never thought about it as far as like what could we do to help, because
if you think about it, you're doing that in the sense because let's say I see you with the Howard Bison, and I go to your website and I'm like, what's Tuskegee? What is Tuskegee? Like you don't half of these schools on here. Like I never NCCU. I'm like, what? Like I'm like, oh, that's a nice color though. I might up that. So I think you're doing it subtly without pushing it on a platform, but your platform allows people to get exposure to just outside of what they were looking for.
And that's like a big piece of LHP and like what we do. Like it's to give schools and students and alumni platforms that they don't regularly get. So as far as like what schools can do, I'm not too sure, but I can speak for myself though. So when I do photo shoots, and I'll have my friends, whether it's Howard people or people who don't go to Howard, I always introduce them to like new schools. So I'll have Howard kids in photo shoots not wearing Howard gear. They'll wear different schools gear, and they're like, yo, what school is this? Where are they at? Like, where are they located? So I think it has a lot to do with like just the students and what we do in these spaces that we're in. So being in the fashion space and having the platform that I have, I'm able to use my platform to speak on these schools don't get that just don't get the shine. But like we've kind of seen within this last year, I think a lot of it has to do with just like the right coverage has to be on, or more coverage has to be on these smaller schools. They have to get the shine too. Like I know people always say like Howard's always in the spotlight, FAMU's always in the spotlight. That's true. So like it's also up to all of these companies who are now starting to make HBCU gear and market to HBCUs. Like don't just market to 4 schools. There's over 100 HBCUs. Like we got to get all these other schools in the mix, That's right. So to me that's something that's very important. And we're a proud partner with the HBCU Atlanta HBCU Alumni Alliance, and we coordinate with different events and fundraising opportunities with them to give back and give money and awareness to smaller schools. So it's so many different things, and my answer is going to be totally different with other people's answers, but that's just a big platform that we have at LHP, and that's why I think it's so cool seeing celebrities wear gear, such as the Chris Paul and Cam Newton's wear gear before. So many celebrities have worn gear that may not have even gone to an HBCU, but their platform and them speaking on it, just wearing the product itself is a statement. I see wearing college gear is just like, that's just a statement piece. There are people who aren't Black but wear Black Lives Matter t-shirts, and that's cool. Like that shows what you like, the message that you want to convey to people without opening your mouth. And that's something that I've kind of like always done through fashion. Like I'm not the most like talkative person. I'm kind of like an introvert in a way, but I like my style and my fashion to just speak for itself, speak for like how I'm feeling or whatever it may be. So that's something that other people connect to as well.
And people say you make a statement through your clothes. So
exactly,
that always helps. So okay, we're coming down to the end. Just a couple more questions. One, what advice would you give to a young entrepreneur like yourself? And also, what does success look like for you?
I want to answer the success question.
Okay.
I think success is not measured by money or the economic value or whatever. I think it all has to do with the impact that you make, and success is just measured by your own happiness. Like that's all it really is. I have certain goals or a lot of different goals for LHP, and they're not really money oriented. Like it's kind of like just like a goal of mine is getting many more HBCUs, licenses for HBCUs, so I can make more products for more colleges.
The impact.
And it's all about the impact. So, you know, everybody measures success in their own way, but that's kind of like I never put like a dollar sign on success. That doesn't really mean anything to me. And the first question was any advice you said?
For a young entrepreneur like yourself, so somebody else in your shoes.
Really have a plan and have a purpose and be passionate about both of them. I feel like my parents has always told me, like, if you have passion for something, you could do whatever it is you want with it. Or if you look at the most successful people in the world, they really stuck with their craft during the ups and the really bad downs of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you become an icon. That's how you become successful. I think with success and becoming a man, becoming, you know, a strong woman is all about how you deal with adversity and how you push through the obstacles that you're faced. That at the end of the day is going to define you as a person. Not how much money you make, but like, what did you do when things got hard? So, you know.
I like that.
So yeah.
Jim, I'm trying to tell y'all keep playing with this man. But we about to turn into earn your leisure while you playing. Stop. All right. Hey, this is the last section, Tahir. It's called This or That. I'm gonna give you 2 options and you just pick your favorite, okay?
All
right. Text or call?
Call.
All right. City or country?
City.
Early bird or night owl?
Oof. Night owl. Trying to go to early bird, but I'm definitely night owl.
All right. DC or Atlanta?
Love them both.
All right. Now, I need you to lock in on this one. Zaxby's or God's Chicken?
How could I say no to God's Chicken?
Let's go. Let's go. I'm telling you, God's Chicken. Now, this is different. If you had to do it all over again, would you do urban wear or high fashion?
Urban wear is high fashion.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
All right. Man, Tahir, I appreciate you for your time, my guy.
Yes,
this is your time. You can do shout outs to anybody you want. The floor is yours, my guy.
Oh, goodness. Shout out to, of course, my family. Shout out to Howard University. Shout out to all HBCUs, man. Shout out to young entrepreneurs out here grinding. There's a lot of people out here, Black-owned brands, just getting to it. And all the businesses that have just been able to just overcome everything within this last year with COVID and dealing with the pandemic and being able to just stay afloat. It has been a challenge, and I'm glad to see so many businesses just see it through and continue to you know persevere during these times that we've been in. So shout out to y'all, and shout out to you for this platform. I love doing interviews such as this, and using your platform, using my platform. Like it's no competition out here. There's too much on the plate or too much on the table. Everybody can eat, man. Everybody can eat. So continue doing your thing with these interviews. I'm gonna definitely keep tuning in. I appreciate you reaching out, and I appreciate everybody tuning in, and just hearing my story and hearing what I got to say today. So thank you.
Appreciate it. And also, a real quick, Mr. Tahir blessed me with a promo code. So you guys go check out his site, shoplhp.com. If you want free shipping, put in the promo code OFFScript. I'm telling you, the gear is like that. Them crew. I don't care if it's 90 degrees where you at. Go get you a crew. It's nice. It's legit. Hey, Tahir, anytime, my guy. Appreciate you. And thank you for coming on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
Peace. Hey, man, that was Tahir Murray. I'm telling you, 3rd generation entrepreneur. The man is legit. I'm telling you, he was dropping some bars and some gems. If you're a young businessman, make sure you go check that out. Make sure you go rewatch this video and understand what comes with everything. All right. And until, hey, listen. So you know how I'm going to do. It's your boy OFFScript. That's your boy Scotty. You've been watching OFFScript, and until next time, I'ma holla. God bless.